Welcome, biggest Sripol people fans. This is my tiny house. Okay, well, it's not quite done yet, but we are getting ready to do a full off-grid solar setup. So a few months ago, I was kind of bored looking around online and all the news in general. I'm like, this sucks. The US isn't looking so great with some of its financial choices and decisions. So I figured I'd do a fully off-grid house because I want to try something that can completely be off the grid from everything else and something that I'm going to actually enjoy. There are a lot of reasons why I'm building a tiny house. It's on wheels, I can move it around, I can do what I want with it. It's easy to heat and easy to cool. Mainly, I don't have bills because I'm going to try to do fully solar setup. Right now is probably the worst time you could possibly pick to build a house. Lumber is through the roof. But you know what? I'm invested in stocks and I like to keep up on business. That's why I'd like to thank Morning Brew for sponsoring this video. Dopey! Every morning I wake up and immediately look for my phone like every other millennial. It's definitely not a good habit to wake up and immediately get on social media, but I like to look at my stocks and see just how much money I've lost a day trading. Rather than wasting time on all the noise of gross mainstream media sources, there's Morning Brew. It's a free daily newsletter taking about 5 minutes to read. Morning Brew gets you up to speed on what's going on in the business side of things and also technology and finance. I like to trade based upon upcoming events and look forward to seeing whether my predictions pan out or not, and I lose lots of money. Morning Brew basically condenses all the stuff that I want to read about my stock picks and stuff, so I can get back to mindlessly scrolling through social media. Signing up is free, it takes less than 15 seconds to subscribe to the newsletter, so check out the links in the description below and sign up today. So let's go back a few months. With some priority set, I began to draw out some requirements and some ideas, mainly prioritized around gaming and just living. Just to be clear, there's no way I could actually live in this thing full time because this is way too small. I have to have a giant workshop to do all my stuff, so I'm not getting rid of my workshop and I'm still going to be a maker channel making all sorts of things. This is just prioritized around living, gaming, and sleeping, with emphasis on gaming and sleeping. First order of business, rent a tiny house. See how you like it. Measure this. Does this measure up to the current year we're living in? Yes, I think so. This is kind of cool, but oh no, my hands, the water. I don't like this toilet either. I'm not a big fan of this thing either. $84? Mine's a whole 4 inches taller. What am I, crazy? It's like 22 feet. This is 20 feet right here. So I even have less space to work with. This is great. I actually already designed my house before I rented this thing, and I want to make changes now. So, second order of business, rent the tiny house first, then make your plans, then submit it to the people that are going to build your trailer for you. Oh well. So after the catting was done, I sent it off to a steel framing company that does tiny houses specifically. I ordered the trailer for $6,000 and paid $6,000 for the steel structure. $12,000 later, I got this trailer and we got the frames. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the foam in the bottom. Funny thing is this foam is actually used for my electric airplane video. The foam cores, I figured I'd recycle, reduce, and reuse and shove them in the bottom for the very bottom layer of the pan and then put some regular foam on top that's higher R value, or at least rated for insulating walls. After that, we put the OSB board on top. Did you know this stuff is insanely expensive right now? Yeah, it's really stupidly expensive, but anyways, that's down. Once we finish with that, it's time to erect the walls, and we put them up simply by bolting them up and zipping them together with these little screws. Huge thanks to Xenia Tool Rental. They're like a local place for me. They provide me with the telehandler, I think that's what this machine is called, for putting on the roof panels because these things are still heavy even though they're steel. 18 gauge steel, I believe it is, folded up and put on the roof. After the loose structure was assembled, it's time to zip up the zip system. I used this green board stuff because it looked pretty appealing as far as just putting it on, because it had like the weather barrier system on there. Like if you see the Tyvek stuff, this is just integrated into the panel. I figured I'd try this out because it seems to have pretty good reviews. And also, just to keep you guys aware, I'm actually paying for all this stuff out of pocket. I didn't get the structure or anything by these companies, so we're gonna have a real total for you of how much it actually costs to build one of these houses, or at least for a moderate solar setup, because I'm spending all my money on this right now. FBI, open up! Once the zip panels were installed and taped up, it's time to pop in the windows. Well, here we are. This is where we're at right now with the project. We're moving on to the wiring. But that's something we'll probably cover more in the next video. Because this is just a kind of a first informal video of like, I'm doing a tiny house, I don't really know what I'm doing. A pretty big project for me. I'm not really sure if you guys are going to find this exciting or not. Maybe I should just stick to the airplanes. I do want to see if you guys have any suggestions for what you want to see in an off-grid setup. So a quick walk around. This is what I'm doing interesting. A lot of tiny houses do have this issue with your head running into this and you can't stand in your loft. So I'm actually going to build a floor that kicks out here and comes up here. So it's actually more like a landing. So you actually can walk into your bed and then flop into it versus crawling around your knees just to roll around to place to sleep. Because tiny houses and lofts kind of suck. So look, this is basically how it is in the morning. I would get up here, plop my feet on this board I have yet to build, and jump out and fall on the floor. I've got the cheapest windows I can find. Funny story is, it's a very, very, very hard process to get anything right now. I really do have to figure out what's going on with the supply chain, because it's really interesting. Like if you look at what's going on just in the world, there's a shortage on copper, there's a shortage on like all of these metals and all these material. Wood is just so stupidly insane. I'm paying like out the wazoo to build this house. I picked the worst time to do this, but anyways, I'm very happy with how it's coming so far. Check out this. This is my favorite part. I did buy this last year, fortunately, because I don't know how much it's going to cost now or if you can even get these things. But this is a cool wood stove, because no house is complete without a fire in it. Well, fire inside of a box, just not in your house and setting your house on fire. So this is the Cubic Mini wood stove. Pretty cool. I can't wait for this winter and fall. I'm probably going to do a next series where you see this whole thing is going to be almost completely done, or maybe even done. We're going to move it to a location of my choice. I'm going to set up the full solar farm and have everything going off grid, and have probably a water collection system and all that fun stuff. Because I really do want to try like a self-sufficient sort of lifestyle with the house. Because you know it's greater than some environmental whatever? Not paying electric bills. That's the sweetest thing ever. I don't want to pay the bills and waste all my money on that stuff. Because I live in a house right now all alone by myself, and it's like a huge waste trying to pay for all this stuff when I'm only using it by myself. So this is perfect for me. It's comfortable, it's cool, and I have some really cool designs that I really want to implement in here. And also, if you guys have any suggestions of what you want to see me do with an off-grid style house, let me know. Because I do want to keep this a little bit different from what most people are normally doing, because this is pretty plain right now. I probably could have bought a plane and built it into like a 737 fuselage. I did see some on like Facebook Marketplace or a CH-47 fuselage. If that's a topic for another video, if I build something like that, I don't think I'd be happy with it. So that's it for this video, and yeah, leave your suggestions below and maybe I'll reply to them. Oh boy,